discovered China. A great Buddha which signified divine imperial rights. An empress who ascended to the pinnacle of power. What is the bond between them, the Buddha and the empress? Discover China as we unlock the doors to the Dragon Gate Caves. Kilometers south of the city of Luoyang in Henan Province lay the Longman Caves. Due to Luoyang's geographical position, the city gates were constructed facing the Yichua mountain. Emperors often thought themselves to be the son of the dragon, which led the imperial subjects to name the gates Longmen, the Dragon Gate. The golden age of the Longman Caves took place during the Northern Wei dynasty. Due to the decline of this kingdom, the construction of the caves was abandoned. After 150 years of silence, in 675 AD, the Longman Caves roared back to life. With the first rays of sun, Empress Wu Zetian visited the caves to preside over the completion ceremony of Vairochana, the Buddha statue. The Empress and the Buddha were both paid tributes and worshipped by the crowds of gatherers. The Buddha statue is 17 meters tall. The head alone measures 4 meters in length. Its elegantly carved eyes and slightly arched smile emulates a dignified sense of solemnity. It is said that the image of the statue is based on that of the Empress herself. Since times immemorial, emperors had their likenesses carved onto Buddha statues, signifying their rule of divine providence. How did an empress come to engrave her image on this grand stone cliff? Born in 673 AD, Wu Zetian was deeply impressed by her mother's views on Buddhism. Although her mother failed in her attempts to achieve her goal of becoming a lay Buddhist master, her belief systems were since engraved in her young daughter's mind. Shortly thereafter, at the age of 14, Wu Zetian was sent to the imperial palace, though she was not favored by the reigning emperor. Relying on her wit and charm, she ensnared the crown prince's heart. Since its inception, the Tang dynasty has declared the founder of Taoism, Li Er, as its ancestor. In 637 AD, Emperor Taizong issued a special imperial decree titled Taoism is above Buddhism. Buddhism's development, however, was certainly not hindered. The practice became prevalent in the Sui and Tang dynasties. It gradually evolved from a foreign religion into a localized faith. Emperor Taizong even sent a monk named Xuanzang on a quest to the west in search of Buddhist scriptures. In 645 AD, Emperor Taizong honored the monk's return with a banquet at his palace. Wu Zetian was in attendance. Her Buddhist beliefs sparked to life by Xuanzang's exotic tales of Buddhist traditions and spirit. When the emperor passed away, Wu Zetian and many other imperial concubines had their heads shaved and became Buddhist nuns. In the Gunya temple, they prayed for the deceased emperor. Under normal circumstances, these concubine-turned nuns would have stayed in the temple for the rest of their lives. Unexpectedly, Wu Zetian was ordered back to the imperial palace by the crown prince Li Zhi. Soon after, she began to assert her true power. Wu believed her destiny resulted from the blessings of Buddha. In 656 AD, then a 33-year-old Wu Zetian once again met the monk Xuanzang. She presided over his acceptance of a stone tablet in the Ce'un temple. Again, Buddhism had great influence on the future empress. Emperor Li Zhi's health worsened with each passing day, and Wu Zetian had to make many political decisions under his authority. The imperial couple were collectively known at that time as the Two Rulers. Having strong ideas on how to rule the country, Empress Wu exhibited her supremacy and political prowess by intervening in state affairs. She had effectively cemented her imperial status to her subjects. She had Buddhist statues sculpted bearing her likeness, seeking to promote Buddhism to edge out Taoism. With the dynasty firmly under her rule, it became apparent why the Vairochana Buddha resembles Empress Wu. To fund the excavation of the shrine at Longmen, the Empress donated her annual cosmetics budget. Although it was a small amount, her generosity nonetheless inspired other nobles to also contribute funds. These contributions successfully facilitated the construction of the Vairochana Buddha statue. It took just over 3 years to complete the colossal project. In Sanskrit, Vairochana means great dazzling light. Standing at the foot of the Buddha, visitors stand under its gaze. To strengthen the connection between herself and the Buddha, Wu Zetian renamed herself Wu Zhao, purposely chosen by the empress. It signifies the bright sun and moon in the sky. She hoped it would bring warmth and brightness to all the peoples in the land, precisely like Vairochana. Wu's promotion of Buddhism caused Taoism to weaken. It seemed that all other beliefs were shadowed by the Buddha's golden glow. This is the Kashyapa monk statue, standing to the left of Vairochana. Although severely damaged by winds and rain, This 10-meter image of the Buddha's disciple still exudes much of its original splendor. Ananda, with its plump and delicate features, stands to the Vairochana's right. It is the embodiment of calm and gentleness. These are the Wenshu and Kuxian bodhisattvas. These statues, each measuring 13 meters in height, are dressed with lotus flower crowns and jade bead chains. Their full figures and flowing robes depict elegant, dignified characters, much like the graceful, noble women of the Tang dynasty. Tian realized the power of her reign. The imperial seal was at her reach, and she had already exercised many of the powers it engendered. Unfortunately, she could not be its bearer. She had yet to establish full religious dominion. Once again, she set her eyes on the Dragon Gate Caves. After building the great shrine for Vairochana, many court officials and members of the public joined the Buddhist circle. The Wanfo Caves, the caves of 10,000 Buddha, represent their devout beliefs. This name for this cave derives from the presence of 15,000 smaller statues. At the top of the caves is a carving of a lotus flower. Around it, an inscription reads, 10,000 statues and shrines, completed on the 30th day of the 11th lunar month of the first year, the Yonglong period Tang dynasty. Interestingly, the construction was supervised by two nuns from the palace nunnery, Yao Shanbiao and Zhi Yun. In November of 680 AD, the Wanfo Caves were officially completed. The main Buddha statue wears a beautiful wave-like robe. Its features are round and curvy, echoing the prevalent aesthetic notions of those times, with a natural and graceful sculpting style. Guards were carved into the middle of the lotus flower seat. Their muscular physique support Buddha's chair. Lotus flowers with a bodhisattva sitting on each were engraved on the back of the wall. This design clearly shows the two women's feminine touch and unique creativity. Flying apsaras, mythical celestial maidens carved on the cave walls, are hovering, bearing sacrificial offerings. On the lower parts carved into the walls are 6 musicians. They seem to be intensely concentrating, playing ancient harps, gongs, drums, and other musical instruments. the southern and northern walls, more than 15,000 small Buddhist statues are engraved. Together with the flying apsaras and the musicians, they depict a scene of thousands of Buddhas ascending to heaven. It has been said that Yao Shanbiao and Zhi Yun were the inspiration for the statue standing behind the Buddha. Some say it was Wu Zetian who sent a message through the two nuns, suggesting women are as wise and as courageous as men, and they too can rule the world. After the emperor passed away, Wu Zetian set her eyes on becoming empress. Traditional Chinese ethics advocated men's superiority to women, and China had no precedent of a female empress on the throne, and Wu's intentions lacked public support. She decided to order a secret meeting, during which she had many of the former emperor's relatives arrested or executed, quashing the last of her opposition within the court. In June 688, a stone engraving with the Da Yun Sutra was salvaged from the Sishui River in Henan Province. The scripture was fabricated to depict Wu Zetian as the reincarnation of the Maitreya Buddha, ordained from heaven to be the ruler of the people. According to Buddhist tenets, a Maitreya Buddha will replace the master of the universe. There are numerous such statues in the Longmen Caves from the reign of Emperor Gaozong. The common masculine bodhisattvas from the Northern Wei dynasty gave way to more plump and curvy feminine ones. Many of these were sculpted based on the then singers and performers from the imperial court. It is said men and women are all equal, and bodhisattvas will ascend into Buddha. Wu Zetian's elaborate plan for promoting Buddhism's true intentions soon became apparent. In 690 AD, Wu Zetian finally seized the throne, backed with a written petition signed by 60,000 people. The imperial throne, dominated by men for centuries, had its first female leader. That year, the 66-year-old Wu changed the nation's name to Zhou. It had become known as the Second Zhou Dynasty. As a sign of gratitude, Wu sought to promote the religion which she believed elevated her to the throne, Buddhism. After ascending to the throne, she immediately changed the Taoism above Buddhism edict to Buddhism and Taoism are of equal importance. She decreed, it will be appropriate for Buddhism to be superior to Taoism, granting Buddhism with a prime position with imperial support. The excavation of the Longmen Caves soon continued with renewed vigor. In order to consolidate the empress's reign and return Buddha's favor, Wu Zetian increased the construction efforts. The west hill of Longmen, already heavily dotted with Buddhist shrines, was joined by the east hill, where large-scale excavation and vigorous sculpting took place. Luoyang soon became a hub for Buddhism. With the number of caves growing larger, Wu began adding divine titles to her name. She became known as the Jinlun Shangshan Empress, Yugu Jinlun Shangshan Empress, and the Tianci Jinlun Shangshan Empress. She brazenly posed as the Maitreya Buddha, culminating in a form of an extreme cult of personality. Many Chinese historians have dubbed her as one of the most arrogant imperial rulers. In 705, Empress Wu Zetian returned the throne it took her half her life to seize to the Li family. Her last imperial decree read, "Remove me from the throne, but allow me to keep my title." Perhaps she became enlightened. Perhaps in the twilight of her days, she began lamenting the state of the universe. Wu began pursuing peace and enlightenment. Seeking to soothe her aging heart, the former empress wrote the following poem. Where does a cloud obtain its longevity? Why is Buddha's warrior immortal? Where does strength come from? What are the means to get to heaven? I accept Buddha's teachings and spread them around the world. This poem reflects Wu's innermost world. She no longer dedicated herself to false practices. She abandoned her inflexible views to restore her confidence and seek the essence of life. 10 months later, Empress Wu died of illness. She was interred in the Qianling Mausoleum with her husband Li Zhi. In front of the mausoleum stands a blank 8-meter-high stele. This blank stele is dedicated to the only Empress Regent in Chinese history. It has been said that the former Empress wanted to keep it blank for later generations' judgment. It has also been speculated that she had worshipped Buddha her entire life and finally realized the meaning of nothingness, a major tenet in Buddhist beliefs. With Wu's passing, the golden age of the statues in the Dragon Gate caves came to an end. This ambitious project serves as a portrait of truth at that time. The exquisite faces of the Buddha, the caves brimming with mythical deities and culture, remain a weathered yet constant memento of a once flourishing era, now bereft of life.